part.
I know, right?
So where we left off last week, this is part of the open house clinic. And we're going to finish this, and I'm going to go into some very specific things that I think you ought to do. So I'm on page 27, I think. I think that's where I left off. Is there any more copies of the handout?
You can share.
Here, I got one. There we go. No, no.
Oh, okay.
She wants her own, I know. Most people. So those of you that were here, anyhow, I guess never mind. Never mind. Marketing is about branding, and so one of the basic questions to ask yourself is, do you have open house signs that have your name on them? All right, your name, your phone number, yeah. By the way, I used to lend new agents my open house signs all the time. I knew that by doing so, they were going to lose them, right? If you lend, you know that I would give them 8 and they'd bring back 7, sometimes only 6. Right, but there would be many days that I was sitting around. I would be. Do I have to separate you two? Don't make you tell the whole class what you're talking about. So I would be sitting at home, and it'd be Sunday. I'd be goofing off, and the phone would ring, and somebody would say, "I'd like information about the house," and I'd say, "Which one is that?" And they would start talking to me, and why were they calling me? Because the new agent would put out my open house signs. And so people were calling me, right, because my open house signs. Now, this is more important. One of the things that I suggested last week is that you focus your marketing, prospecting business on a particular geographic area to start with. Do you understand? Because if you do an open house in 95123 and then the next open house you do is in 95054, and then the next open house you do is down in Gilroy, and then the next house you do is in Campbell. People don't see your signs in any consistent way. I farmed in a part of 95123, and the best marketing was open house. I know you're not waving at me. Was the open house signs, right? And although my research tells me this is not actually a violation of any rule, but there were some weekends when I put up my open house signs and I didn't have an open house. Right, they just didn't point anywhere, right? You understand? Right.
People driving around in circles.
Right. Yeah. And then every once in a while somebody would call and say, "I can't find your open house," and I'd say, "Oh, those, darn kids, they turned the signs around." Right. But you understand, you put them up early and you take them down late. And people that drive in and out. By the way, my slogan, which I'm not necessarily suggesting you adopt, was hard at work in your neighborhood. That's what I used to say. And if you're in don't laugh. If you're in if you're working a particular neighborhood, you understand that's important. By the way, if you're working a particular neighborhood, one of the advantages of having magnetic car signs, one is they're magnetic and you can take them off. 2 is people can see them, and I would drive through the territory that I specialized in relatively slowly at times when people were around. Right? Do you understand? So they would see the car, they would see my branding. Does everybody understand that if you can't brand yourself for San Jose or Silicon Valley, it's too big? But you do want to start branding yourself at some point. I'm not going to read that story. So here are some examples of a variety of open house signs. How much do open house signs cost? Anyone bought them recently?
$70.
$70 a piece.
How much?
About 70.
About 70. You can get them you can have them made by, weird people and things like that, but about $70. And so how many did you buy?
9.
9. Did they give you a price break?
Mm-hmm.
Mine were a little bit less than that, right? But then they were.
Yours are sturdy.
Yeah, and mine is sturdy. So that's an investment, right? I have, and by the way, I still do. They're sitting outside of my house and kind of weathered, about 25 Century 21 open house signs. When I put up open house signs, I put up a lot of open house signs. right? Even if it was in my farm area, I put up lots of open house signs. I paid some guy that had a van and a little trailer to take them, put them up in the morning and take them down at night, right? Because it's a pain, isn't it?
Yes.
Putting up open house signs. But can you understand why branding becomes important? They've done studies where they stop people on the street and they say, do you know any real estate agents? Can you name a real estate agent? All right, and most people come up with one or two, and very few people come up with three, right? So when they ask those same people, they take them to a side and they interview them and push and give them time to think. Most of them can come up with 6 to 8 names. Right? But we only carry a couple in our mind. All right, you understand? And so one of the questions is that when people think about real estate, do they think about you? Right? Do you understand? Remember, we talked about building a business and building a brand. One of the things Keller Williams will let you do is have your own logo, right? We believe you're the brand, not us. That's that interdependent versus dependent model. Century 21, we were very clear we were the brand and not you. Right? And basically the idea behind Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Intero, Alon Pinnell, Better Homes and Gardens, and all those is that you can't survive without our brand. Right? That is the message. Right? But apparently that's not true. So you should have a large quantity of them. There's, generally speaking, 3 kinds of open house signs. There's cheap generic ones you can get from the association that doesn't have your name on it. Right? There's some you can borrow from the office, doesn't have your name on it. That has the advantage of being really cheap or cheap, right? But it doesn't have your name on it, doesn't include your branding. There are, at the other end, the signs like I have, which are sturdy signs. You hit one of my signs in your car has problems, right? You understand? It does, right?
It's 1 ton.
Mine don't blow over. Right? They don't, can you imagine blowing one of those things over? Right? But they're heavy. Right? Then there's the in-between, lighter, easy to carry, fold up, handle on top, you know. But invest in a large quantity of open house signs. I believe, some of you, I did a thing called 5 to Thrive, that you ought to plan on doing 5 open houses every month. 5. Right? 5 open houses a month. 5. Right. Now, if you did 5 open, my rule of thumb was every 4 open houses I produced a client. If you did 5 open houses a month, you would be doing 1 a month with a little bit of a buffer. That's assuming you're doing a good open house. So how much, so if you bought 10 open house signs at $70 each, that would be $700. What's a typical commission on the sale of a home in Santa Clara County?
10,000.
20 to 25,000 gross, right? So I'm just saying. Design your signs so your name is in large print. Brand your name. Have a logo made if you want. And this is something that I'm going to do another class later on about this, unique selling propositions and branding. Right? I wanted to talk about open houses because I'm worried that some of you aren't making enough money. Did you know that? I worry. Every night I worry that you're not making enough money. Balloons, right? Anything to draw attention to it, place 10 plus signs out. Right? Now, this is particularly true if you're working that geographic area. Right? This is great advertising. And by the way, I used to have custom-made signs, A-frames made with plywood. All right, do you understand there's people that will make any kind of a sign, big, heavy signs, big ones. And in my farm, at the major intersections, I had those signs and balloons. Of course, I paid somebody to do it. Put them out 5 days before the open house. Some areas will get you for this, right? Do you understand? Some cities have open house rules. However, I've left some signs out for a week and they were there. Ask neighbor which corner lots to place signs on, with corner lots to place signs on their property. One of the things I used to do is buy in the area where I worked. And by the way, I would go to all of the businesses in the area And I would talk to them about, I would show them a map of the area that I was farming, and I would ask them if that was part of their target group. And they would almost always say, yeah, right? And so I would get them to cooperate with me in marketing into that group. And one of the things I would do is hit on the restaurants in the area. And I was talking about a marketing thing that we could do where, do you have any discounts, any coupons, anything like that for free dinners? And they would say yes, that not necessarily free, but I would buy, usually at a discount, a couple of dinner coupons for a local restaurant, and then I'd go knock on the corner and I would say, hi, well, by the way, you don't really need their permission as long as you're not putting it on their lawn, if you're putting it on the sidewalk or on the other side. But do you think most owners feel that way?
No.
No. So I knock on the door, I'd introduce myself, saying, I'd like to put an open house sign right there, not on your side, but across. And is that okay with you? And by the way, I brought 2 tickets for a free dinner in a local place, right? Was that
So nice of you.
yeah, so nice of you. And then they would sometimes ask me about the open house and tell me a little bit about the property, and I would chat with them and ask them. I am a slow connection. All right, so what we're going to do, those of you that are online, it's going to blip for a moment. All right, just hang on. All right, so I should be back. So I have a conversation with them, ask how long have you lived here? What do you like about the neighborhood? Right, having a conversation with them. At every turn, be sure to choose open house properties no more than 3 turns. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Make sure your phone is on the hanging sign in the open house lawn. So my listing has my name and phone number on it. That's one of the other things that Keller Williams lets you do that Century 21 wouldn't let you do. I don't think Coldwell Banker lets you do this either, is you can put your name and phone number on the open house sign or on the for sale sign. Century 21 wouldn't let you do that. There was a phone number, but it was the office phone number, not your phone number. So that means people would call the office, and then the office basically sold the leads to people.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was a good system, you know, if you're the broker. So let's say it's not your listing, so you don't have the for sale sign does not have your name and phone number. What would you do instead? What could you do?
Put your flyers in the box.
Put your flyers in the box. If it's my listing you're holding open, I'd tell you to go put your flyers in the box early, right? Just put mine back. By the way, not everybody does that, but it's okay. I can be philosophical when there's people that I'm coaching that are doing it. I'm philosophical about it, but not all listing agents are philosophical. They already know what a rider is.
Yeah.
Something that goes across the top. And I have a bunch of them. By the way, if you need a rider, let me know. I have a bunch of them. I'll bring them. I have a bunch of riders. I got a bunch of riders. Yeah, some of them are old. So what?
I'm gorgeous inside.
Yeah, mine says I'm gorgeous outside. I probably have one of those too, right? But before you go and invest in riders, talk to me because I have. Some of them may have Citric 20-ish looking colors. Some of them, yeah, but anyhow, I got riders. So one that had your name and phone number, could you put that on the top? Another question that agents often ask me, they say, well, if I put up the open house signs really early, how does people know when it is? I have riders that say open 1 to 4.
Or Saturday.
Right? Or Saturday. I have open Saturday. I have a whole bunch of them. And by the way, you can clip them together underneath the sign. Do you know what the best, cheapest, easiest to get clips are for riders to put under the sign? Shower curtain clips, right? They're really cheap. They sell at the board clips for like $2 each or something ridiculous. And if you go to Walmart, you can buy a box of shower curtain clips for $2, right? And they fit just perfect. Ruby knows what she's talking about. All right. So balloons, open house. And so this is saying, what's wrong with these signs?
No name.
No name,
No phone number.
no phone number. They're not very colorful. That's all. Promoting local and metropolitan newspapers. We don't really have newspapers. All right, so you should put it on Craigslist. You should promote it. So I'm going to show you how to promote an open house. Does that sound like fun?
Yes.
So this is eEdge, and I clicked to go inside it. Craigslist has issues with hyperlinks and things like that. They don't actually want you to put in phone numbers, but I do that anyhow. They make you read a long list of things saying that you're not going to do this when you put a house in the real estate section. And that's because real estate agents sort of abused it. But if you're going to do an open house, put it on Craigslist. By the way, you should check with the listing agent if it's not your listing to make sure that the open house is listed in the MLS. Because if it's listed in the MLS, then that gets syndicated to all these open house sites. Right? Does everybody know there's a bunch of open house sites?
Yeah.
Now, sometimes people are concerned whether it has their name on it or my name on it or whoever's name is on it. Nobody really cares whose name is on the open house notice once it's in the MLS. Nobody cares. Right? You understand? They just show up to the open house. So in terms of how would it be promoted, number one is you would want the listing agent to put it in the MLS, preferably by Wednesday. I have to admit, I don't always do this, but preferably by Wednesday. Number two, you want to run an ad in Craigslist. You do, right? You want to download all the pictures. You want to put them in a folder and upload them to Craigslist. Craigslist will let you upload a whole lot of pictures, right? And you want to copy and paste information in. Right, maybe I'll do, I don't know, do I need to do one of those? I can show you what they look like, but Craigslist does not want you to put in hyperlinks, which means a link to a website, right? But then it'll go, so let's talk about where else could we promote an open house?
Facebook.
Facebook.
So it'll let you put the picture in Craigslist, right? So if you have a flyer made up, it'll put a picture and you can just post that on there as an image.
The question is,
Craigslist.
can you just post a picture as a flyer as an image? The image has to be hosted someplace else, and Craigslist doesn't like outside hosted images. They want you to upload the image to their area, but not in the body of the Craigslist image for real
It's like an
estate.
attachment, right?
It's uploaded,
Yes.
right? So it's across the top. I'll show you one that I've done. So this is my website, eEdge, MikeDevlin.kwrealty.com. So I have an open house and by the way, this last weekend at Dearborn, I met somebody on Sunday who's serious about buying a house. I just thought I would share that with you. Yes, I just thought I would share that. So I'm going to find the listing that I've got, and some of you, if you want to do an open house, talk to me. We've lowered the price on Dearborn.
You have to.
Yeah. Now, there's two things to do. First of all, I'm going to just show you this, because if you PRO, MLS listings, this will take a while. So I'm going to go to Gilroy, and I'm going to price low to high. There's some really low ones. So what I'm going to do is put in 700,000 and 675, just so I don't have to spend a lot of time looking. And here is Dearborn, my listing, 689,888. And so I pulled this up on my eEdge, right? That's an important thing. And so, by the way, your eEdge has as long as your MLS has been set up, virtually everything that's in the MLS. So this up here, that hyperlink, is a static link. In other words, it doesn't change to this page. Now, I'm going to copy it. Now, notice it does say Facebook, but I'll just show you Facebook. Let me just log in. I'll just show you what that looks like. All right. So there we are, Dave Kidder. So this is the productivity coach in Fresno asked a question that he's studying for his real estate exam, which I answered for him. Do you want to push the question out, see how you guys do? Yeah, that's all right.
Sure.
So what, if I, just so you can see the difference, so if I go back here to this and I click Facebook, what it's going to do, since I've logged into Facebook, see what it's done? Not too bad, not too bad. And it's just populated it up and it says, I'm going to say, jeez, too many things to do here.
Price reduced will sell quickly. Open houses Saturday and Sunday. Best Buy and Giveaway for the price. Okay. Price range and condition.
All right, and then it's a problem doing this from too much. All right, so I really didn't want it to be done, but let me just go back here to Facebook. And if I go here, make sure that it didn't go in because I was typing in a weird way. So let me just do this quickly. So you get the idea. I'm going to write something, and I don't know why it went away, but
Price reduced, right? Not
we'll
price.
sell QUICKLY. We'll sell quickly.
Price.
Anyhow, did I spell something wrong?
Yeah.
No,
I did.
you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Price.
it's difficult to do this
Price reduced.
so quickly.
Best Buy and Gilroy.
I can't do this at this angle, but so I would be, you get the idea, right? I can't do this at the angle that I have the computer. So I would say open house this Saturday and Sunday, 1 to 4, put in my phone number. But how hard was that to get it to Facebook, right? Now, the value of this is that when somebody sees it on Facebook and they click on it, they're looking at it on my website. And if they click or do searches or ask to see it, the lead comes to me, right, automatically. And by the way, once you've done that, so first of all, this is level 1. Level 1 is you find the open house, you post it on Facebook, you let all your friends know that you're doing an open house, right? I don't know how many of your friends are interested in buying a 5-bedroom house in Gilroy, right? There may be none of them. So in order to move it any further, you have to boost the post, right? Now, I'm not going to do that right now for a variety of reasons, but let's just say when you boost a post, let me just show you what that would look like at least. So if I'm here and I simply paste in this, notice what happens. It fills in the box, and so I can change now that I've done this, I can change the wording, right? So I could type in something about the property, price reduced, call Mike, here's my phone number, open house this weekend, and now that's on my news feed. If I want to boost the post, Facebook is not going to let you boost the post unless you have a business page, all right? Did everybody understand? They're not going to let you boost a post unless you have a business page. Because the idea of boosting the post is to promote something which you're not supposed to be doing in your normal Facebook account. So what you would want to do is create a business page. which is not that difficult to do, you can see these are the pages. I'm going to go ahead and leave the page. These are the pages that I have either created myself or have been engaged to help other agents. See that list? See that list? So we're going to pick this one. And so this is a Facebook business page. And notice this one said open house March. This is an example of one that I posted. Notice what it showed. I boosted that post. 1,403 people were reached. And by the way, I've got a bunch of clicks to my website. Notice down here, see that list of people? All of them have what people do when they see a house that their friend might be interested in. They click like and they send it to their friend. And so all of those represent people that shared my post with their friends. By the way, I probably have now 10 people that have come to my website and registered to do searches because of the listing that I've been promoting in Facebook. Did everybody understand that? I've got people that are actively looking at homes, created auto alerts on my website that they did because they saw my Facebook post. So if you only put it on your Facebook profile, on your news feed, some of your friends will see it. If you create a Facebook business page, which is not difficult, then you can boost the post and more people will see it. And the third thing you can do is run an ad. And I'm going to go to manage ads. And these are the different real estate agents that I've helped with their ads. Am I the one that spent the most money so far? No, not quite, but I've spent a lot. And I'm just going to, I changed my payment method, so they're putting me in their grace period. But I'll just show you what happened with the last ad that I ran on website clicks. So this is one of the ads that I ran on Dearborn. It's inactive right now. I got 1,377 clicks to my website. I don't know how many people go to your website every week.
None.
I reached 23,000 people and I spent 10 cents a click. Oh, so I spent $132.
So that's how they bill you, huh?
And I changed the billing, so that's why they're saying. And so you can see I've done, these are all a variety of ads that I've run on Dearborn. This one produced 352 website clicks. It was $31. You get the idea that it was basically the difference was I running it all week long or just on the weekend. By the way, you could do this with any property, just about. Right? Well, we'll talk about that. I don't want to say that on air. Right? But how does that look to you? 1,377 clicks to the website.
Very successful.
Right, none of them have bought a home with me yet, but I've got people that have registered. So what is the conversion rate of clicks to a website to people that sign up for stuff? I don't know what happened to me. It's not high, right? Maybe 1 to 3%. I would say maybe 1% of those people have registered, maybe a little bit less than that. And it takes about 100 people to register before you can really count on selling a house. Does that make sense to everybody? So just to recap, you got to have a Facebook business page if you're going to promote a post. You can boost a post or you can run an ad. And by the way, they look a lot alike. A promoted post and a Facebook ad kind of look the same, but you can do more with the ad. So by the way, just to show you, because I'm sure I would click on create an ad. I'm just going to show you how to create an ad. The post is really easy because once you put a post on a business page, Facebook is going to say, would you like to boost the post? Right? They're just going to jump out and say that. So ads are a little more complicated. This is what it looks like. What I want is to send people to your website. you really don't want people going to your Facebook page. So we click on send people to your website and it may not, and so look at all these different things that I've done, but this is the site that's that page on that listing. Right? By the way, one of the things you can do with Facebook is I could say, I happen to know where the price break in Gilroy is for people that are buying with FHA. And I could run a search that looks for all single-family homes, Gilroy, under 675, because that's basically the FHA range. And I take that result and I go to Facebook and I say, I want to send people to my website. And so it's a search result. And I paste that link in here. And although it's thinking about whether it wants me to do it, it would send people to the search result. And so then my ad would actually have like a generic picture of a house. Facebook, we'll do this in another class better because Facebook has generic house pictures that you can use. And I would say, you know, got FHA, question mark, something like that. And check out, here's a list of all the properties that we qualify. All right, so does that make sense? The most obvious things to do are Craigslist and Facebook, Facebook Boost a Post, or Facebook to ads. All right, mail outs, MLS system, we talked about that, internet marketing. There are most sites, usually if you put it on the MLS, openhousetoday.com are most of the open house sites pull information from the MLS. By the way, did you know you could create a search on the MLS for all open houses and make a link? Did you know that? That you could do that from eEdge? Did you know that? You didn't know that. That's why I teach classes. So if I go here to do a search and I add more options, one of the options is open houses. See that? So I actually could tell people all the open houses in San Jose, Gilroy, or a particular area and make that a link. But we're not going to do all that right now. So twilight showings, morning or after school drive times. So some people say, well, I can't do 5 open houses a weekend. There's not that many days on the weekend. How can I do that? And the answer is they don't always have to be done on the weekends. Friday night, Thursday nights, doing an open house during the day, you have the possibility that somebody's going to walk in that wants to buy or sell real estate. Sitting at home watching the Nature Channel and eating samosas from Trader Joe's, right? Chances, some of you know what I'm talking about. So, the chances of somebody coming in and wanting to buy a house is very slim. Party atmosphere, it would be good to have something to give people. It creates, even if they turn it down, offering food creates a different relationship than not doing so. Some agents have wine and cheese. So here's lead generation activities. This is all in your handout of things that you could do before. Have a mortgage lender figure and print mortgage information. Gather information about the neighborhood, review market. These are, you ought to go knock on all the doors in the neighborhood with a flyer and invite people to come to your open house. And there's a lot of checklists here. All right, what action should, let me just go on, the trust mindset. Are there scripts? Does Keller Williams have scripts?
Yes, lots of them.
Lots of them on open houses. Do you know what you're going to say? How many of you have been to an open house where the agent didn't do anything, didn't say anything, just sat there, grunted, pointed, right? They're reading romance novels, newspapers, watching sports on TV. Right? These are the agents that say, well, open houses don't work. I've done that, right? Trust building, I'm not going to do all of this. Greet and build rapport. Ask probing questions. Have I lost everyone?
I don't have the other half of it. Oh, you there?
So Raul didn't print the whole thing.
32 is where I live.
Somebody gave Raul part of a handout and not the whole handout. And so here we are. So, by the way, if you send me an email, I'll send you a copy of the handout. One of the other things that you can do, let's talk about something else. I'm going to do something more practical. First of all, this is the Keller Williams website. One of the things that I want people to focus on is coming up with a business plan. Let's say your business plan includes doing open houses. See, there's a button that says education. And if you go to KW Connect is where there are videos. And what would you want to learn today? Type in open house. Apparently I've already done this. And click on search. And you're going to see how to open an open house, session 3 follow-up in KW Technology. That particular video is about how to use eEdge and following up with people that came to your open house. Get ready for your open house, build your brand with successful open houses, capture leads at your open house evaluation form. Anyhow, does everybody get the idea that there are resources available? And this handout, by the way, can anybody tell what course this came from?
Open houses.
Lead generation.
Lead Generation 36123 is the name of the course. And by the way, you can find it. And this would be a good exercise. You could find the course on kw.com and you can download the whole course. I'm going to be going through some of the segments today. Let's talk about something else, however. So we're doing an open house. I have to go back. I'm not really too sure about the new system. Back. Making a flyer. You click on My Marketing, you go to Create Marketing Materials. Now what you're going to need is go into the MLS and download all the pictures. Right? So you go into the MLS, there's a little, does everybody understand this? Have I done this? How am I doing? We're having a guest speaker who brought.
Wow. Again.
He knows there's only one way to get agents' attention. So you find the open house, the listing you're going to do open, you find the pictures, and you right-click and save them to your computer in a folder.
Sometimes the resolution isn't very good.
Sometimes the resolution isn't very good, so we're going to do active. We're going to say
There's a solution for that too.
DEARBORN. Oh, it's hard to do. Dearborn active. There's 4 Dearborns. Let's just see. And one of them is mine. Here we go. So you see down here, there's this little button. It says Open All. And it's now bringing up these. You don't want thumbnails. You want the album. If you're right-clicking and downloading thumbnails, thumbnails are small images, hence the name thumbnail. And if you right-click and you say Save Image As, you have to name it, it just says Get Media. So I just copy and paste and add a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. You're going to end up with something that's higher resolution. If it's my listing and you send me an email, I'll send you a link to the real pictures. Just like, what do I care, right? You know. But do you understand? If you don't if you don't click on album, you get thumbnails, and thumbnails are not as big. They're not as nice as pictures. Sometimes the pictures are terrible pictures or something you can do. So once we've done this and we have pictures and a description, I'm usually kind of efficient or lazy. I just copy it. And we go here and we want to go to print marketing. And then we're going to just pick, I'm going to get rid of some of these flyers. And in collections, one of the collections is called listing marketing this month, property marketing. So here are the basic flyers that come in the system. And so the way I would pick one was based oftentimes on what looked nice or how many pictures I had. Right, because you can see this one has 3 pictures, that one has more pictures. There are some homes, I've had listings where I couldn't find 3 good pictures because it was an ugly property. It was really ugly. By the way, sometimes I put a map as a picture. Right. I had a listing in Cambrian and I actually put in the MLS. Somebody, if you've seen these, there's one that says bring your hammer. Mine said bring your bulldozer. It was to be torn down. So you find one that you like and you click on it and it opens up and then you click on personalize and then you replace the pictures and you replace the words and you make a flyer. But you understand, you can, and it's already got your branding down at the bottom, which is the nice thing about it. The other way of doing this is going into the Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. And Michael Lewis has property brochures. And these are more elegant, right? They look nicer. There's a bunch of different layouts. You could pick one that you liked. Again, this sort of assumes you have nice pictures. And these make even better looking flyers. All right.
That's a fold over too, that's a fold over.
Right. Some of them, or these are just horizontal. The one I have for Dearborn is like this.
Like you fold it over.
Oh, the large, yeah, some of these are bigger ones.
This one's-
All right. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
They were getting cranky. Thank you very much. They're always cranky a little. All right, is everybody with me on that? So the easiest open house flyer, some of you have heard me say this, the easiest open house flyer is you go, where's the MLS? We go to MLS, we go to RPR, and we put in the address. Or at least close enough. You should find it. There it is. Notice it has the right price. I like that. We go to reports. Go to reports. One of them is called property flyer. That's what pops up. We are going to, it's got all this other good stuff. We're going to run the report and it wants a headline. Where do I put the headline? I forget. Right here. So I say, PRI, priced right to sell quickly. As an optimist. And so we could say suppress certain things like the year bill tax amount, whatever, but I don't really care. So now I'm going to click on run report and it says that in 3 minutes it's going to give me a 1-page flyer with my name, my contact information. So if you've set up the RPR, which not everybody has, which means you have to log into the MLS, you have to click on RPR, you have to register RPR, you have to put your picture and your logo on RPR and fill out your contact information in RPR. But if you do this, you can produce in 3 minutes a decent looking flyer that's got all of your contact information that you could take to somebody's at the door. And so what does it look like? Priced right to sell quickly. And it would have your branding on it, your webpage, all that stuff. 1, 2, 3 minutes, and you have a flyer. All right? You could have put open house for the title, open house, Saturday, Sunday, 1 to 4. You can do whatever you want, but the branding looks nice. It already pulls all the information right out of the MLS. This is the least amount of work to create an open house flyer. You understand? The other ones require that you download the pictures. This only gives you one, but the other ones require you download the pictures, you upload the pictures, you change the wording, you do all this. This doesn't require that you do anything other than type in the title, find the address, and run the report. Okay. Any burning questions other than, there's more here to read. I'm not going to go through all of this. What to do when no guests are present. All right. The more you practice what to say, I say the same things at every open house, right? Because I've been doing it for a long time. I say the same things, ask the same questions, have the same dialogues. The more you do it, the better you're going to get, right? And I'm saying if you do one open house a month, one day, once a month, you may never become very good at it, right? But if you force yourself to do 5 a month, you'll be becoming good at it. Is Augie ready?
Oh, I've got time.
Are you waiting for 12:30?
I'm waiting for the inspector to come in and he'll be talking.
Oh, not you? You just
I'll
brought
do a little thing, and then after that,
all right,
someone else comes in. So I've got a little time.
Remember
12:30.
okay.
I have lunch, by the way.
So could they break and eat?
Absolutely. So I brought some linguine with Alfredo and chicken and some pizza bread from what is it? Luigi's and Campbell.
So this group, they won't eat that kind of food.
I'll take it back.
Yeah, I get it. So why don't we do that? We'll break, get something to eat. This is Augie Roberta, anyhow. He's with Home Guard, and we're gonna have a little bit of a presentation so you learn about it, the inspections and reports, right? Guard. All right, and those of you that are online, I don't know if you heard what we're eating. All right, so by the way, those of you that are online, this Thursday I'm going to talk about counter offers. Bon appetit. Today we're going to talk about counter offers on Thursday.